The hardest part for me wasn't prison, and for our clients at White Collar Advice, it's not necessarily prison. It's the time before, the waiting, the wondering, not getting clarity. And then, of course, if you don't hit the ground running after you're home from prison, what do you do next? What do you do on the other side? How do you sustain a family or build a new business? So for me, I tell people I don't feel like the 18 months in prison was hard. It was the 3.5 years before I went to prison that was excruciating, the waiting and wondering.
Yeah, it was interesting. I listened to your interview on Dr. Phil, and you're advising some of those charged in the college admissions scandal, which is a fascinating story in itself. And you describe that period of waiting between being charged and sentencing and all the other things that go on during that period as a prison sentence in itself. I imagine there'd be a massive mental challenge during that period for you.
You go through a whole set of emotions while you're traversing the system. Someday, there's a lot of real days you feel like you can manage this, you can handle it. There's nothing you can't overcome. Some days I would take a very stoical approach of managing struggle, and others have gotten through it. Others have gone through much worse. Let's be realistic. So can I. And then on some days I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't shave. I couldn't brush my teeth. I would just sort of gorge myself on unhealthy food, play a lot of online chess, and get fatter, chubbier, and more miserable. So it was like really a tale of two different Justins while I was a defendant, going back, my goodness, to 2006. So I made a lot of bad decisions waiting and wondered, no different from a lot of our clients who have never had any experience through the system, as I mentioned earlier, like me, never knew anyone that had gone to prison, didn't begin their career with aspirations to break the law. I mean, who does that? Who wakes up and says, today's the day I'm going to create victims and read about my name in the New York Times as a criminal, and I feel like I also want to go to prison today. It doesn't work that way. It's subtle. Bad decisions happen over time, and then once you're trapped in the system, as I told Dr. Phil, emerging unscathed is difficult. So we help them make the best decisions possible, trying to get the shortest sentence possible, but also living with a sense of dignity and purpose throughout the journey while you're waiting and wondering. And as I tell our clients, including 7 families in this Varsity Blues case, you'll feel better once you get sentenced because at least you have clarity and you can begin to move to, even clients of ours that get 8, 9, 10 years say, at least I have clarity. I can begin to move to the next phase. That window of waiting is very difficult, and I empathize with all defendants who go through it.